Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host, and this is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. This time, I want to take a look at this. This is No Man, number 2 from 1967. Tower Comics, 68 pages. Now, No Man is one of the Thunder Agents. Just a few weeks ago, I had talked a little bit about Thunder Agents before, and I've had them before. Then I focused on Dynamo. It's this character here, and here he is right there, Dynamo. But this time it's No Man. There's No Man, and there's No Man. And last time it was one of the reboot titles from another publisher from the 80s, and we focused on this character, which was Lightning, their speedster character. Now, Thunder Agents from Tower Comics in the 60s was created by Wally Wood and writer Len Brown. It also happens to be the name that they used for Dynamo. And of course, this was from the 60s, with the time when the spy movies and TV shows were real popular, in the books too, novels as well. And superheroes were real big, and they combined the two, especially so that the Thunder Agents were kind of like the Man from U.N.C.L.E. meets the Avengers. And and Thunder, this time I looked it up, Thunder stands for the Higher United Nations Defense Enforcement Reserve. It's just gobbledygook to spell out Thunder, but it's kind of like S.H.I.E.L.D. from Marvel Comics, and of course U.N.C.L.E., because is where they got all those, from the Man from U.N.C.L.E. TV series. And No Man is named Dr. Dunn. He is a paraplegic scientist working at Thunder who created some android bodies in which his consciousness can be transferred. And after that has been accomplished, he can transfer from one android body to another at will. Then he's armed with the invisibility cloak and is Agent No Man. And eventually the Dr. Dunn, because he was an elderly fellow, and he died, his body died, but he still remained alive, bopping from android body to android body. And as I said, they're created by Wally Wood and Len Brown. And this is in No Man number 2. The No Man stories were drawn by Ogden Whitney and written by Steve Skeates. He may not have written them all, but I couldn't. That's all I could find. Ogden Whitney was from 1919 to 1975, an American comic book artist and writer, active through the Golden Age and Silver Age, co-creator of the aviation hero Skyman, and some humor characters such as Herbie, who's the Fat Fury. And he worked on a variety of characters for various publishers, including several westerns, and even something like Millie the Model at Marvel. And in 2007, he received posthumously the Will Eisner Award Hall of Fame. And there's some really nice artwork in here. And just the cover itself. Of course, this is an old cover, old title, old book. See, the Thunder Agents had a certain level of popularity for just a few years, and their Thunder Agents title had two spin-offs featuring their most popular characters, which were Dynamo and No Man. And in the regular Thunder Agents, it was just various characters. There are various characters in various stories and plot lines. And they, in their individual titles, No Man and Dynamo still interacted with the other Thunder Agents, and they'd drop in a story like the Thunder Squad, which were the non-superpowered agents. And even here, it's got in the middle, it's got a lightning story, and there are I think it's 4, maybe it's 5, I've forgotten now, No Man stories in here. But we're just going to look at the first one. Dynamo versus No Man, and his great Wally Wood cover. You can see Dynamo and No Man fighting, and yet here amongst all these No Man androids, and you can faintly see here the invisible ghost-like image of No Man. This another No Man attacking Dynamo. So let's take a little look in here. Look at this old ads here. Dynamo versus No Man on the splash page. This is Ogden, Whitney. Really nice drawing, and it starts off in the headquarters of Spider Central, and Spider is one of the evil organizations that Thunder fights against. Yeah, kind of like Hydra and AIM for S.H.I.E.L.D. And here they've got an idea, going to infiltrate one of the Thunder bases, and they've conned their way inside, and won't go into the detail, but they get inside, knock everybody out with some gas, and then they set up this gizmo so that when No Man transfers from the main base, his mind from the main base to an android in this base, and he's zapped and kind of paralyzed, and they set him up with this gizmo on his head, and they use him as a conduit for their own scientist, who transfers his mind to a No Man body, and then he jumps Dynamo, and they're fighting away, and Dynamo gets out, and they're chasing, and they find out there's something going on, and of course they don't know what, and they don't know that No Man has been compromised, and chased him out in the desert. Plane almost crashing him, because remember, Dynamo is super powered with his Thunderbelt, but it's only a limited amount of time, so he can. But he's getting away. He was injured. They knocked out. They captured him, but he fights back even though he's injured. And fights back and gets going more. Then the fake No Man gets him, so he's captured. And in their captured Thunder base, and he gets up, and he doesn't have any power because they've taken his Thunderbelt, and but he smashes the gizmo, and which frees No Man, and he goes after the evil scientist, but he gets shot. The Thunder Squad attacks, and the bad guys, and Len is in the hospital because he's injured, and No Man gets away. But they're not always just the spy type, because here, like in this No Man story, has some totally unrelated stories, some magic stuff, some sorceress from ancient Egypt, and I won't go into the story, but it's unusually completely different than we get to the lightning story. There's some good stuff in that one, and another Dynamo story. Then we get to, and that involves reanimating a frozen Hitler, and then he's killed at the end. That happens in a lot of stories. And then the last one here is a quick change of mind. This involves another android, another evil scientist kidnapping scientists, and they hook him up, and they're instead of transferring the mind, it transfers the knowledge of the scientists into this robot, who is this android who is then used to make gizmos. No Man is undercover as in an android body designed to look like one of the scientists, and so it looks really nice. It could have been great for, probably was good for romance, because his style would have been good for romance stuff. And they snatch No Man who's in disguise, and but when they try to hook him up, it doesn't work, and he winds up trying to transfer his mind to another one of his android bodies, and it pops into the bad android body, and so they use the android henchman to defeat the evil scientist. And I think some imaginative stories, but they're well written. It's very entertaining to read this old stuff, and I'd like to see more of it, and I'd like to see more of them done kind of like this. And it all had some really nice artwork. That lightning story had not Ogden Whitney, but Chick Stone from later, who's also was a Marvel artist, was doing these stuff. We had a lot of mainstay artists for other publishers working on these as well. So that's all I've got. I had some nice artwork, some nice storytelling. These guys knew how to tell a story in that's much briefer than what we're used to today, but they could tell a complete story. Some of them would have been nice to have been able to tell them over a longer period of time, maybe more pages, but especially with a 68-page book, they could easily have done 20-page stories, full-length story. But that's all I've got for you this time for the Thunder Agent No Man versus Dynamo. And thank you for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, and tell me what you think of No Man or the Thunder Agents, or any questions about them, if I can think of anything. And do leave comments. Let me know what you think about any of these things. And it's cool when you can get these older books like this. And I've got to bag it up. So remember, comics are art.